Welcome to the Let's Manifest podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alyssa Esposito, a certified life coach and manifestation expert dedicated to helping you design and live a life that you absolutely love. Together, we're diving into the magic of the law of attraction, quantum physics, and powerful personal development techniques. Whether you're new to manifestation or seeking inspiration, this podcast offers clarity, motivation, and actionable insights. So are you ready? Let's make it happen. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is an important one because this isn't just about setting intentions for a new year. This is about deciding who you're going to be and therefore what kind of life you're going to create. So if you're listening to this, chances are you don't want this year to feel like a repeat of last year. You don't want more busyness with the same results. You don't want another year that goes by where time passes faster than your dreams. You want momentum, you want movement, you want alignment, flow, and ease. And it all starts here. I want to begin with sharing a little context because intention is personal for me. After surviving breast cancer, something shifted in me. It made me start to question things. Time stopped being abstract. It stopped being something that I just assumed I had plenty of, that I was actually taking for granted. Time became sacred. And I asked myself a question that I believe every person should ask themselves. Am I actually living my life the way I want to? Am I doing with my life what I want to do? And when I asked myself that, the answer was no. Not because my life looked bad on the outside, but because on the inside, I felt disconnected from my purpose. I felt a little lost. I felt like I was moving, but not towards anything that lit me up. And that moment became a turning point. It led me to get my life coaching certification. I started to help women set and achieve goals. But it wasn't until I began studying energy, identity, and manifestation through the lens of physics and neuroscience that everything finally started to click. I realized this: we don't change our lives by accident. We change them by deciding on purpose who we're becoming. And we have to match that version of that identity by embodying that energy. And this is why some of the goals I had previously set, I wasn't achieving them. I wasn't manifesting. Remember that manifest means to make it happen, to have it come into the 3D world. I was coming at them with the wrong energy, with the wrong intention, with the wrong goal fuel, with the wrong headspace, with the wrong identity. And I wasn't a match for the person who had the result, and therefore I did not accomplish those goals. Let's talk about setting an intention and why it matters much more than you think. So here's something that most people don't realize. Just because you want something and you think it's going to make you happy, your brain will not automatically just go for that goal. Why, you might be wondering? Because most big goals require you to get uncomfortable. And our brains are wired for survival. It's motivated by 3 things. 1, to conserve energy. 2, to keep you safe, and 3, to seek pleasure. Yes, you might be chasing something that you feel would give you pleasure, but you're gonna have to come up against hard things on the way there, right? Our brain's designed to keep you in that space of familiarity, which means if you don't intentionally choose a direction, your brain will default to old patterns, same habits, same reactions, same identities, same results. That's why so many people feel like they're working hard, but they're not moving forward. They're busy, but they're not intentional. And neuroscience backs this up. When you set a clear intention, you activate your prefrontal cortex. That's the part of the brain that's responsible for focusing and planning and decision-making. It's part of the brain that we use to override our thoughts when we had that thought that we should just quit. Setting an intention also engages something called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. That's the brain's filtering mechanism. So in simple terms, your brain starts looking for evidence and opportunities and choices that match your intention. No intention, no filter, and no direction. That's why intention is not just fluff, it's actually actionable. The first step in manifestation is clarity, and this is a huge block for some people. Manifestation doesn't begin with just visualizing. It doesn't begin with affirmations. It begins with clarity. This is one of the number one blocks I see when I work with clients is they do not actually know what they want. I may have said this before in the podcast, but think about going to the restaurant called the Cheesecake Factory. If you're from the US, I bet you know this place. It has a huge menu. I looked it up. There's over 250 different options. So let's equate the waiter to the universe. He comes to ask you, what do you want to eat? May I take your order? And you say, I'm not ready yet. And he goes away. You sit there, you study the menu for another 5-10 minutes. He comes back to you and then you say, I don't know what I want. There's just so many choices. At this point, you're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed by reading all the different options and all the different descriptions for everything. And if you have any perfectionism tendencies, you might think that there's only one right option. And what if you order something that you don't like or it's not good? Well, there's 3 likely scenarios in this case. 1, he comes back and you ask him what he likes and recommends, and you go with one of those because you feel too much pressure and too much overwhelm to choose. This is analogous to you letting other people choose things for you and your life. 2, other option is you order what you ordered in the past, knowing, well, at least I like that and I know what to expect. This is analogous to you getting overwhelmed with choices in your life or your business and shutting down and returning to what you have done in the past. This does not get you new results. We get more of the same. 3, sometimes people just look at something and look at the menu and they order based on price, the cheapest option, rather than ordering something that they would really love to have. And this is likely a sign you actually have money scarcity or worthiness block. Now, why did I bring up this example? How does this relate to manifesting? When you don't know what you want, the universe does not know what to bring you. You get overwhelmed, we shut down, we waste time, we play small, and we repeat the same things over and over. It keeps us stuck in a cycle of stagnation. We just create more of the same. And I want you to know that indecision is actually a decision. We think we're not making a decision by overanalyzing things, but it's shown that successful people and really wealthy people tend to be very decisive. They make decisions fast. They don't waste time overanalyzing things. They don't postpone making decisions. And they also don't go back and reanalyze the decision they just made and change their mind and waste time. So when it comes to manifesting, you do actually have an infinite amount of choices of what you would like to manifest. Now that might sound overwhelming, but on the contrary side, we could actually just feel and think about it as something that's freeing. You can have whatever you would like, but you do have to decide. You have to decide what you want to create, what you want to manifest. It has to be specific. A lot of people say things like, I just want to be happier. I just want more money. I want balance. That's not clarity, that's vagueness. And vagueness keeps you stuck. Indecision keeps you stuck. Intention gives your energy and your nervous system a direction. It's the difference between drifting and navigating. The definition of intention literally means to have aim or a plan. So let's talk about why intentions actually change your results. So here's the truth. If you don't set an intention, one of a few things is going to happen. 1, just like we talked about at the restaurant, you let other people determine your choices in life. You are actually building their dreams, their vision of what you should do, or you're building their business for them. 2, you recreate more of the same. Your year will look like just all the last other couple years, just with a new calendar, a new date. 3, you stay busy, reactive, and exhausted, but without meaningful progress. I bet you've had days like that, right? Where you're busy all day and you kind of sit down and you wonder, what did I actually do today? How did I make progress? But we were just busy. Busy is not the same as being productive. And busy doesn't necessarily move the needle on your goal or your business. This is how years fly by and we look back wondering where all the time went. And then we feel guilt and regret about squandering away and we start shooting on ourselves. Have you heard that term? We say to ourselves, we should have done better. We should have made more progress. And it's part of why I made the Make It Happen project. I refuse to be at the end of my life wishing I had done something different. And let's be honest, Nobody's going to be on their deathbed saying, I wish I had gone to more meetings. This is my mission to help you realize this, to help you step out of this and to intentionally create and live a life that you love and learn how to manifest that for yourself. Another analogy is setting an intention is like putting a location into the GPS without a clear destination, without a map. We're just driving in random places. And they say actually a lot of people wander in circles. If you put them in a forest and they think they're going straight ahead and getting to some point, they kind of end up in a circle. So intentions do three powerful things. They help you get clear, they help you set priorities, and they help you make aligned decisions. When you know your intention, decisions become simpler. Having a decision-making framework is a game changer. If you identify as someone who's indecisive or overthinker type person, just this tool alone can change your entire year. You stop asking, should I do this? And you start asking, does this align with who I'm becoming? Does this align with the goal that I am working on? If not, then it's probably a distraction. Your results are really just a reflection of your identity. This is important, so listen up and soak it in. Your results from last year were not random. Life did not happen to you. Your results last year were a direct reflection of your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your capacity, your energy, your self-concept, the level of self-trust and responsibility that you take for your life. It's a result of who you were being and ultimately your identity or your consciousness level. We don't manifest what we want. We manifest who we are being, our identity. And your next level your next chapter in life, as far as how it's going to look different, doesn't just automatically begin with the flip of the calendar on January 1st. It begins the moment that you decide. You decide to stop repeating the patterns and you decide to start creating on purpose. If you want different results this year, then something has to shift internally. And I'm guessing that's why you're here. You know you were not here by accident. There's actually no coincidences. Coincidences and even luck, these are terms that the unenlightened or non-believers use for synchronistic events that actually have come to us based on quantum physics. You are here for a reason. You have called this in, and you have matched this energetic frequency, this opportunity, and the universe has brought you here or put this here for you in your path. Because people don't seek this kind of work when they're satisfied with just being okay or average or living on autopilot. We seek help when we want to feel alive again. We want to feel that we're experiencing everything the world has to offer. We want to be back in love with our life. We know we deserve more. And that is your soul whispering, nudging, craving. If you're out of alignment, you will have these signs. And sometimes it even yells at you that you are out of alignment. It's time to step up and step into changing your power and elevate yourself to that next level. Different results require an identity upgrade. Just setting an intention alone will not bring you new and different results. Intention is to have a direction and a plan, like I mentioned before. It doesn't mean it will happen. It doesn't mean that you're actually committed to it. In fact, I think often we hear people say, oh, but they had good intentions. People say that when something didn't turn out the way they wanted to, or we didn't get a result we wanted. It's like, oh, but I had good intentions, or they had good intentions. That phrase is something that we say to make a miss or a loss land more softly. This is why I feel that intention is just the basis for the start of something more. A start of something that requires more clarity and direction. Intention setting is just the start of identity setting. The next step is taking that intention and setting it into a goal. Just like declaring the intention alone doesn't guarantee you the results, new goals will also not guarantee you that your life will change. Let's be honest. I bet at least once you've set the same goal for the next year that you didn't achieve the previous year. Am I right? I know because I've done it myself. But why does this happen? If just setting the goal worked to actually get the result, then everybody would be living their dream life right now, right? But what a goal does is it helps you to narrow the focus. It increases clarity of your intention and it sets a course and a finish line. Remember that we really need that clarity. This is the next part where so many people miss. What creates the result is the transformation, namely an identity upgrade, a shift, an elevation. You don't rise to the level of your goals. We rise or we fall to the level of who you're being. Your floor is what you're tolerating of yourself. You have to elevate your floor if we're elevating that ceiling. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, all of those things are part of what it takes to shift our identity, our energy, and to manifest a different result. Now, when I work with clients, I ask them to set not a realistic goal, but an extraordinary goal. I want them to live an extraordinary life, and that takes extraordinary goals. An extraordinary goal is one that the current version of you cannot achieve. And that's the point. Because the goal isn't just the outcome. That's not what we're just doing it for. It's about who you have to become in the process. Extraordinary goals require us to change, evolve, step up, stretch ourselves. And they require us to elevate our self-concept. They invite growth and they demand embodiment. If your goal feels comfortable, it's not going to transform you. This is one way in which we can quantum leap and change our life. An extraordinary goal can demand for you the need to think outside of the box. The small 2x growth strategies will not cut it for an extraordinary goal. They help you to shift your energy into bold action, which then have totally different trajectories and you can get different results. One of my favorite intention setting practices is choosing a word of the year. Not a resolution, not a to-do list, just a word. How simple is that, right? But the word should align with that energy and your trajectory and that extraordinary goal with your intention. The word can be something like perseverance, courage, faith, gratitude. Last year, my word was embody. How do I embody the person who has that result that I want to have? This year, my word is unstoppable. Your word becomes your compass. Each day, ask yourself, how would the version of me who embodies this word think, decide, and act today? That's how identity shifts, moment by moment. I have already used my word of the year, that unstoppable word, several times to redirect my mind when I get these thoughts of, this is not working out, why don't you just quit? And I say, no, that's not what embodying unstoppable energy means. Unstoppable doesn't mean I'm not guaranteed to fail, that I'm guaranteed success at things. No, it just means that I get back up and I keep going and I don't let it define my future from my past. So here's what I want you to hear clearly. You are not here to live accidentally. You're not here to shrink, settle, or delay your dreams. Time is not guaranteed. And intention is how you honor the life that you've been given. Setting an intention and setting an extraordinary goal is a declaration that says, I'm no longer going to live on autopilot. I'm choosing to create a life on purpose that I love. So as you move into this new year, I invite you to sit with these questions. Who am I being right now? Who do I need to become to create what I desire? And what intention will guide me there? Because this year doesn't need more hustle. It needs you, aligned, intentional, and embodied. And if you'd like some support with that, right now I'm offering a free clarity call where we're going to look at your extraordinary goal, the identity shift, and the next aligned steps to get you there. No pressure, just clarity, expansion, and intention. You can find the link in the show notes or send me a DM or an email. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for choosing growth. And remember, you don't manifest a new life by wishing. You manifest by deciding and being. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. We hope that you've liked this episode. If so, check out the Make It Happen project, where you can learn more about the Modern Manifestation Academy. You can also find a community of like-minded people and coaching resources to help you create and live your dream life. And for fun manifestation swag, check out the manifestationshop.com. Thanks for tuning in to the Let's Manifest podcast. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Let's keep the momentum going because you deserve to manifest your biggest dreams. Until next time, remember, you've got the power to make it happen.